So we're going to talk about the next potential big move for Bitcoin and the overall market. Cue the new intro. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, bell button, leave like, all that good stuff. Now, I hope you like the new intro. Let me know if you do. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about where we could be going. Now, overall in this channel, I want to try and do technical analysis, fundamental analysis as a mixture, and obviously cover coins. So if you want me to cover another coin today or tomorrow, I will be happy to do so. Make sure you let me know in previous videos or this video, and if you ask nicely, most likely do it. Now, there's lots of things to talk about and to comprehend. I want to go over some fundamental elements and maybe some trigger points for certain people if you're thinking I should really take profit as well during this run, because we don't want to get burnt again, right? Huge run. Over the last few days, it's been good. If I go to the weekly time frame, you'll see it very, very clear as day. A lot of white, in my view, that is green. White is green, grey is red, obviously. It's looking incredibly good. A very, very strong weekly end. We pretty much almost dominated 50k, so it's doing all right. But I want to talk about something else first, right? Stand by. So, the last time we were hitting levels of interest at 50k, we were at February times. Roughly between 44 and 73 interest rates of like people. Flow of sentiment. As I've said in previous videos, right? I'm not the biggest lover of cycles, I'm a lover of sentiment. And this market is so influenced because it is so small. Enough people can rock the boat and therefore create little bits of rhyming patterns with the past, right? However, there's been times where we've had big, massive sell-offs and things done quite aggressively and it doesn't quite recover as quickly. I think we're massively ahead of schedule in terms of this bull market, and even though we had a bit of a time where we've been a little bit rough, it's also recovered pretty well due to certain catalysts, which, very, very obvious in terms of why they've kind of came apparent. Now, when we start considering the fact of where we are right now, open interest right now of the last previous level was 31. When we start thinking February times, we were looking at 70 and 80% interest levels of sentiment of people just searching Bitcoin. This is where I think the supply shock will make a big difference, not just for Bitcoin with its scarcity, but obviously with a rise in Bitcoin, people are going to look at altcoins as well, because on the periphery, on the surface, they are literally looking cheaper and more valuable, obviously, right? But some people will buy certain things and they will think, oh God, what have I done? So we need to be very, very careful. One element as well is obviously this 86% of all Bitcoin holders are now currently in profit. That is huge, right? Massive. But I also don't think it will just go up in a straight line. Obviously, we cannot be that naive. We've got to remember September is naturally a bearish month for Bitcoin. It's printed some pretty horrific results in the last coming months, especially when you look at September data. I think it's only been profitable 2 years out of its 11. So that's not looking very, very good. When you consider some other months, it's a lot different. Apologies if you hear the train in the background there. Anyways, moving forward though, percentage of profits and winnings, right? There's going to be a time where Bitcoin will probably eclipse all-time high at some point in the not too distant future. It's how high does it go and how do people react? That mentality of I want to take profit, I want to grow is going to be very, very interesting. A lot of new people don't do that, but a lot of people are also new and in this space have also learned a lot from the summer. In May, that euphoric feeling into, oh my fucking God, my life has ended because that has been horrific. Some people have, left the market due to that. So we've got to be very, very careful. Now, I mentioned it in a video. This is a great little stand piece, in my opinion, of potential, not absolute, but potential. Do I think in 2021 we will get to this point? No. Do I think at some point in the future we could? Yes, we could. It's a probability factor here. But a lot of people, in my opinion, I think if we get to a certain point and a pivot point, you've got to think of this like a seesaw. If Bitcoin goes too high, people will look at taking profit, and I can guarantee, because everyone does, markets need investors, markets need traders, and traders give you that money flow, and that money flow is important. For me, if I see 150k Bitcoin and my altcoins have gone up to a stupid equivalent, and I've got, say for example, the dominance chart of BTC is flying down and I've got a load of BTC laying there, will I be taking profit into fiat and diversifying into other, investments? Of course I will be, because that's how investors work. Don't be all in on one asset because you could get burnt. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin. Huge weekly run so far. Obviously, it's been crazy. I am expecting a pullback. I mentioned in my previous video, I'm not expecting to just go straight up as a one-out. I am expecting at some point in the next coming weeks, it will pull back. And the data tells us that September's not a great month. So maybe it might be time to look at consolidating some profit into some stables. Maybe you don't have to. Obviously, you're a grown adult. You can wipe your own ass and stuff. But for me, I'm looking at my bags and thinking, well, this is pretty good. I'm in a position where I'm at no risk. I'm happy to let it run. I still think a lot of altcoins have a long way to go. The likes of, for me, Polkadot Reserve, right, is what I bought realistically. On Federal Reserve, and we're already seeing some big runs in other coins, likes of Avalanche that I covered the other day. Solana, for example, they've had big runs, right? But there's also coins that haven't had them runs yet. So we just need to be careful to kind of be strategic. If you were, for example, a buyer of Solana 3-4 weeks ago and you've not taken anything off the table, you should be, because that's the sort of position you should be in. Whereas some people won't because they're not quite run, which is fine. That's okay. But we've got to be careful. I want to talk, though, as well, a little bit about the total 2 chart. This is important. I'm going to do a little bit of a chart analysis here, because this is at a key level and it's flipped a key level of resistance as well, which is very, very important. Now, if I go and do a Fibonacci on here, you'll see it. We've flipped the 618 level. This was a level that I was expecting us to go and retest a lot earlier than we have. It's been quite a delayed reaction. We have formed a bit of a downtrend, an ABC correction technically, double bottom sort of technicality here, but it's give or take around the right sort of moments, right? But now we're flowing right above. Now we're at $1.18 trillion, which is great, right? But for me, I'm expecting a pullback. I really am, because I just think that people will take money off the table. But this also allows us to do other things. Now, if we are going to start from this point again, I'm going to remove this. And let's just say theoretical values here. I'm going to go from this starting point. Let's just say this is a top, right? This is obviously going to change. It's an open week. But if we are looking to grow and pull back, we may well pull back and then go towards all-time high. The total 2 chart is the overall market capitalization of the entire altcoin market without Bitcoin. I'm more interested in this because I think the dominant chart will drop. And I think the likes of, we've seen it, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Avalanche, they're all starting to run. Even XRP is having a good run. Dogecoin still relatively strong. There's still people and buyers in the market. That's why their interest level is going to get very, very interesting to see where it goes. So just got to be important to think. And if we are looking at going up to, say, 1.58 trillion without including Bitcoin here, Bitcoin will naturally be, carry on going. I've liked it to a treadmill situation where you've got 2 treadmills running together. You've got altcoins on one, Bitcoin on the other. One side of it, it'll always catch up. And I think altcoins will eventually catch up, which will mean the dominance will fall. Now, one final thing to look at. Go back to the trends chart. If we put in altcoins here, let's have a little look, because I've not looked at this yet and I just thought about it. Again, similar sort of situation. When we look at all these highs here of the past where we were like 100, or even where altcoins are roughly the similar sort of position, if we go and have a little look here, let's have a little look at February here. So February 2021, down at this point, obviously Bitcoin's driven. But if we start to look at where we were at all-time high levels here, right, 10th of May, ridiculous week that was. Now, when we start going over onto this level here in May time, where is it? We're obviously at 100. We're not that far away from it, and we're at 34. So are we going to see that shock of sentiment? People flying into this market, throwing the cat, the dog, the budgie into this, and trying to capitalize on some gains. Now, again, as I've mentioned before, I've sold Bitcoin, I rebought low. I'm riding the wave. I'm riding this wave, but I will be looking at taking something off the table at some point, certainly into some nice stable currency to build. And stable currency is good, right? It's good to have just in case, because sometimes new opportunities present themselves. Sometimes you may find a coin that you really like that's in a great position, or a new, initial coin offering, or whatever it may be, and you may need it. It's better having some profit that you can utilize and use to grow further in an opportunity like that. It makes so much more sense. So Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope the audio is a little bit better. It will improve when this room gets fully furnished and fully sorted, soundproofing and stuff like that. But yeah, in my opinion, exciting times, but we've got to be very, very careful of September. Take something off the table if you're worried about it. Trust me.